Okay, so I think we're live streaming here. Hello and welcome to the 741 channel. Don't really have an agenda for the live stream tonight. I'm just kind of messing around here in the radio room, more testing things out than anything else. I've got my laptop over here on the side, and I'm just going to get that set up so I can kind of monitor the live stream and check the chat here. So bear with me for a minute while I do that. Let's see. Okay, I think we're in there. Nope, that's the wrong area. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm able to monitor the live stream over here now. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I don't really have an agenda here tonight. I really just was kind of testing out my computer just to see if I could get it to live stream. I've had some issues with this particular computer in the past, trying to do any kind of audio recording with it. It's got some kind of internal problem with the sound card, but I think I've got that sorted out, at least to the point where it's good enough to do a live stream like this, or maybe a screen capture video here and there. So really that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm testing that out, and I'm just kind of tuning around on the bands. I've been really busy this summer with a new job and just things around the house. I've got a 7-year-old son that, you know, he's in all kinds of activities and stuff, so that's been keeping me pretty busy and away from the radios. But as winter kind of settles in on us, the nights get a little bit longer and the days are a little colder, I'll probably be doing a little bit more with radios and electronics here, hopefully, in the coming months. So anyway, I do have SDRuno up and running here, so I figured I'd fire it up and see what was going on the shortwave bands tonight. I'm tuned to 40 meters right now. There was a little bit of activity in the ham band, so I'll fire that up now and I'll just kind of give a listen and see what's going on. Okay, so we got one station there. He's coming in pretty good. Now, before I get too far along, I'll mention that I'm running my RSPduo. This is the dual tuner version of the SDRplay RSP offerings, and right now I'm running in single tuner mode. You can see up here I just have one antenna connected, and the reason for that is because it kind of taxes this old computer to run both receivers at the same time and my screen capture program. Actually, the SDRuno runs both tuners just fine without the screen capture program running. The screen capture program is sort of a resource hog, so we're just running the single tuner here at 600 megahertz bandwidth, and that seems to work okay with the screen capture. So anyway, let me get on with it. I'll also mention that the antenna that I'm using tonight is my 80 and 40 meter fan dipole that's out in the side yard. That seems to do pretty well for just general shortwave reception. Okay, so anyway, we've got some activity here, sideband activity, and it sounds pretty good. The band sounds nice and quiet tonight. There's not a lot of static noise or anything like that. We had a little bit of weather earlier today. A front came through. I don't think there was any lightning or anything like that, so we're not going to hear any static crashes, but there isn't a whole lot of atmospheric noise either, which is good. I was kind of worried that we might get some because of the front off to the east now, but I guess we're okay.
Well, I guess I'm fortunate because
so it looks like we've got a few signals across the band here. So I guess I'll tune around. Let me just see if anybody's in the chat window. I don't see anybody over there just now, so we'll just tune up a little bit more and see what else we can hear. Actually, I guess I'll tune down a bit first.
Yeah, you come up on that time there, Zach.
So it sounds like just a bunch of rag chew
yesterday,
tonight.
I believe it was.
No
And
contests or anything. And those don't sound like DX stations to me, so all pretty local, I would assume.
That's Mike and a FT920 radio.
These guys sound like they're in the southeast somewhere. And just for reference, I'm in Connecticut, so they're a little bit far away.
Center-fed dipole, 35 feet, roger. QSL, off center-fed dipole, 35 feet.
All right, real good. Well, I wish the best of the contact to you tonight. The band sounds great, so you get after it, okay?
Well, we appreciate it, Ralph. Hey, if you get a chance, drop us on the spot there. I would appreciate that also.
So let's see, this guy should ID pretty soon here.
We came on, we're just kind of like said, testing everything. Sounding good down here in Texas there when the static.
Okay, Texas, that's not bad.
But you're coming over most of the static.
Not bad for, what time is it, 11 o'clock at night
the Zulu there, go ahead.
here in Connecticut.
Do you want me to drop you as November 5 Victor Echo Tango, or do you want me to drop
Actually, that reminds me, it's actually the night we're supposed to turn the clocks back, so I've got an extra hour to play around here tonight on the radio.
Better today or special event or something like that.
So we'll just tune around a bit more. Not a whole lot of activity, but the activity that's here sounds pretty good. I'm going to scan back up here and see what we can hear up higher.
That's just kind of us stretching out the boat anchor stuff here, and using that from about 9:30, 9:45, somewhere along there. We
Okay, so we get some more southern stations.
Anyway,
and this guy sounds like he might be using some old equipment.
Just be looking around for us. We'll definitely be looking for you. Okay, I got a Kenwood TS450S now. It's supposed to do AM.
Okay, let's scan up the band a little bit more here and see what we can hear. So not a lot going on 40. Let's go over to 80 and see what I can hear down there.
I'll look at it, but it's, we got a huge one out in the main room, family room, and then the one in there is like a little bit smaller one.
A little bit on
yeah,
that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, put it on the power cord of the cable box. Yeah, I know. But
so again, on this band, it sounds pretty good. I'm going to widen it out a bit, just so it sounds a little better.
Of the cable box, right?
And we got a good signal to noise floor ratio tonight. Band is in good shape.
Around that choke, because the more wraps you, there's the interest into that.
And again, we got a bunch of rag chew going on here. Not so much any DX or anything, but that's okay.
Ham radio doesn't really seem to have a whole lot to offer. Look what it had to offer back when we got on the air. I mean,
it sounds like we got a couple of curmudgeons here, maybe.
Not to say that it isn't today, but
1,200 views. I don't know what the difference is. Remember, but I too am very pleased with the receive sensitivity and with filtering ability, the ability to get rid of noise.
Okay.
I love the
I have a feeling this guy's talking about the
once you get that dialed in right,
7300 icon.
That's a blessing. It really works well. There's another trick I can show you with the contour that you can really make voices pop with as well. If you have that little contour.
That would be a nice radio to have.
Atteindre le vaccin vert et du cœur, c'est rose pour le cœur. Je mets le vaccin vert et du cœur.
Óyeme, no había ningún sitio donde comprar radio allá.
Okay. So I wonder if that's a little bit of DX here, or if that's just local guys.
And like you got the ICOMs have a few, but...
Okay, so here's the guys on 3814 down in Long Island.
That Sky Command.
But I'd rather, out of all the radios, that's why. I mean, I've had 6 of these radios. I always seem to levitate back to this 2000. And, you know, I knew that they were going out. I figured, let me get it while the getting's good. This will be the last one off the assembly line, and it's not going anywhere.
Famous last words.
Nah, it's not. I'll add to it, but I may not, I'm not going to sell this.
Hold on to that one. That one's a keeper.
Once you get one, you don't want to, you just don't want to let it go, especially when they're you can't get any more.
I miss my 1200, I'll tell you. I like that radio.
Let's scan up a bit here and see what else is going on. So like I said before, the band sounds pretty good tonight. It's in good shape. We're hearing a lot of signals and not a lot of noise. So that's always a good thing. But not a lot of real activity going on, just a bunch of guys doing rag chew, which is okay, but doesn't really make for an interesting or exciting video, I guess. But at least we've got some activity here. Actually, that's just noise. So maybe what I'll do now, since this band is in good shape, maybe what I'll do is switch over to the AM broadcast band, tune around there, and see what we can hear. I don't know if anybody wants to hear anything in particular. Take a look in the chat, don't see anything over there, so maybe we'll go down to the AM broadcast band. Yeah, oh, we got some guys fighting here. Typical 80 meter stuff, I guess.
I realize that guy's an idiot. You dumb faggot.
Alright, we don't need that on my channel, so we'll scan around a bit more. Actually, excuse me. Actually, before I go down to the AM broadcast band, let's try, speaking of crazy stuff, let's try, I'm just curious to see if there's anything on CB radio. This time of year can get kind of active around here in Connecticut sometimes. So I'm just curious to see if anything's going on. Now we may not pick up much on this antenna, even if there is activity. There we go. Channel 31. Can't beat channel 31. Where's my, oh, I guess I screwed up a little bit there. Let me scroll back down, pull these guys in. Oh, are we on? Oh, we're on upper side now. So let's go to lower side. So there is activity out there. It's not real strong, but not on this antenna anyway. But there is life out there on CB radio. I'm kind of surprised, but it's there. Let's try this frequency. Yeah, I hear a couple guys out there too. That's interesting.
I will say this particular channel here, 38, has a lot of interesting people on it that chat throughout the day here. It ain't so bad. It's good conversation. Have a lot of good people down here on this channel.
So this guy's got some good things to say about CB, I guess. Okay, so we can hear the guy that he's talking to also. That's not, excuse me, that's not bad for this antenna. I'm horizontally polarized and these guys are more than likely vertical. I'm not sure how far away they'd be. we're hearing them. It's a good night tonight, I guess, out there on the bands. So yeah, as you can see, the signals aren't real strong, but we're hearing them pretty well. So I wish I could, let's see, do we have, it's been a while since I've used this, I don't even remember all the features of it.
I'm sorry, what was that? I was just wondering, are most guys out there ham people also?
Okay. So that's interesting, we can hear, there is life on CB radio, at least on channel 38, lower sideband.
Out there in Andover, I think he's been featuring it, what did you say, Justin, the 80s, 89?
So I'm trying to figure out where these guys are, and maybe how far away they might be from me.
Probably 1976. When I first got on TV.
Sounds like they've been around for a while. 1976.
Going to go for the extra, probably like a month or so.
So that's what I found. These guys are talking, but it seems like a lot of the ham guys are on CB, at least on sideband anyway these days.
The electronic side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a true thing. And the thing is, the radio.
Let's see. Oh, Billy's in the chat. Let's see. I never thought to even check 27 megahertz with the SDR dongle. Good evening, by the way. Good evening, Billy. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll put 27 megahertz on. I used to use that a lot back when I was in high school. There was a group of us on. And I still have a couple of old CB radios here that I can't seem to part with. But there's always been a pretty active contingent of guys here in Connecticut and western Massachusetts, and they all seem to end up getting their ham licenses, and they end up at least on 2 meters anyway. So sometimes I like to tune down here because I'll hear the guys I hear on 2 meters on CB. And you know, they're keeping it active, which is good, I guess, and you know, they're usually keeping it pretty clean these days. It's not like it used to be. Well, in some cases it's not. I guess it depends on what time of day you tune and what frequency you tune to. But generally on sideband at night, it's reasonably clean, at least when I've been tuning into it. So a lot of these guys are running ham radios on the CB bands these days too. But anyway, these guys don't sound familiar to me. I don't think I've heard them on the bands, on the ham bands anyway. But this also goes to show how well this RSPduo works. You know, it's not on an ideal antenna at all. And it's still pulling in the signals. That's pretty good. So anyway, I think what I'll do now is try the AM broadcast band and see what we got out there. Let's see. Now, of course, we're going to want to zoom in on that a bit. And we're going to start over at 1080 WTIC. That's the closest broadcast station to this location. Now, of course, this time of night it's going to come in a little weird, even though it's close. And of course, if I have it right on frequency, it tends to have the trouble. But anyway, we can hear it there. So I'm wondering what else we can hear on the AM broadcast. It sounds like it's not quite as quiet of a band as some of the others. I'm getting some noise here, probably from stuff inside the house, appliances and whatnot.
Listening audience. Any publication or rebroadcast.
So 11:20. I'm not sure what this one would be, but this one's coming in okay.
Of Legends JMI Sports and the University of Notre Dame is prohibited. The announcers are selected by Legends.
Why the binoculars, Gildy? Well, what's the matter? Are the picture cats so small you need binoculars?
State comes going. Kickoff between the Irish and the Seminoles.
So some kind of sports radio.
p.m. Eastern time. The pregame coverage
11:30.
at 6:30
This is
Eastern
probably
next Saturday night.
WBBR
For our
Bloomberg
entire
out of New York
broadcast
City.
crew in Evanston, Illinois this evening, including Paul Burmeister and Ryan Harris, and for Jack Nolan and engineer Bill Carambellis, I'm Joe Wiles saying so long from our network studios. Repeating tonight's final score, number 4, Notre Dame 31, Northwestern 21.
Okay.
Good night and go Irish.
This should ID in a minute here, I would think.
You've been listening to Fighting Irish Football on the Notre Dame Radio Network.
Okay, so
today's broadcast has
this
been
has got to be
presented by
WBBR.
Nissan and Frontier Communications. Fighting Irish Football is also brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Gatorade, Canon, and by
pretty wide, actually.
UPS,
Look at that.
official logistics company of Notre Dame Athletics.
Actually,
Fighting
if I
Irish
widen this
Football.
out, no, it's at 2010. It should be fine.
Of the Notre Dame Radio Network.
Oh, hi.
Well, I don't think that's going to ID right now.
Right now, though, we're going to take 90% off.
Let's see, 1180.
All you have to do is go to remotepc.com.
Don't know what that one would be.
Use my name, Leo. You'll get 90% off.
But we're pulling in a bunch of stations.
From getting him in, or you're going to be able to get it down?
Not quite as clean as it was on the ham bands earlier, but still working. Oh, I want to...
Ele precisa para lhe ajudar e ajudará. Matéria nova agora.
Standing people to the federal bench and for more circuit court.
In my family.
Let's go way up. See what we can do.
Thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
I wonder what this
I heard a
frequency,
commercial
or what
for
this station
Optima
would
Tax
be.
Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm.
I'm not,
A+ rated
not
by
sure
the Better
what this
Business
one would
Bureau
be.
and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief
Again, we're
settled
hearing a bunch of
my
commercials,
IRS
but that's nice and
tax
strong,
Call
whatever
Optima
it
now
is.
for a free
I know there's sort of a local station on this frequency. I think this is the
Super Bowl champion played it.
or maybe it's 12.
I just react to that. Give
I
me
think 1250
10
is what I'm
seconds.
thinking about. Let me try that one. Yeah, we're not going to get that one right now. It's too late at night and they run too little power. I wonder if we can get... No, this stuff's coming in too strong. I thought maybe we could get one of the little AM broadcast stations that broadcast traffic information out on the interstate, but that's probably a good 10 miles or so from here, and those are real low power anyway. But we can try anyway. I think there's anywhere between 1610 and 1670. But now we're not going to hear it. There's other stations covering those up. So I don't think we're going to get those tonight. That might be better served trying to get during the day. Anyway, I'll scroll up a bit. And it sounds like we get some activity here on the ham band. So put it over on sideband and see what that sounds like.
At the end of the drawing date, and the state would look, and if they had
So some more rag chew here.
the amount of tags that
Good
they
strong
wanted
signal
to
there.
give out.
Oh, that's data.
Okay. District here that I'm
So
at.
we got these guys. We got some more stuff going on up here. Let's see what that is. Should be right around there. No, I guess it's up here. Yeah, this is the local.
I actually tried to do it one day, but I
local
didn't
expert
have enough
net.
time, and I thought that would be a
anyway.
great test, and but I haven't done it right.
Jack, that's the only reason you could possibly have two receivers.
Yeah, this guy's an expert.
That's what I was thinking, because I got a pine tree out here that's really over 100 feet high. And I was really seriously thinking, now to shoot a line over that and do a vertical and then hook them up to the two receivers. And that would be so fascinating,
Let's
right?
widen
Right,
this
John?
out
Come on, we're the engineers, man. Wouldn't that be fascinating to just watch those 2 meters go all night long?
It would, and I say I tried to
this
do
guy that
it
we're
one day,
listening
but I
to
screwed
now
up
is
and I
a bit
couldn't
of
get
a
it
legend
right.
around these parts.
And I've been trying to
he
shoot
can get
another
kind of
tree
interesting
myself here
sometimes
for the last couple of days, and
in
have
his
not
opinions and
succeeded
things.
To get over the branch that I want to get over. But again, same thing as you. I have so many pine trees here that are well over 100 feet. And but I haven't been successful.
So it sounds like these guys are talking about putting vertical antennas in pine trees, which isn't really a bad idea, actually.
That's just what I was thinking. I'll put one on each receiver, or
tune around
actually thought about tying
and
them
listen
both
to these
together,
guys again tomorrow and see how their experiment turned out.
It'll reduce everything probably by 3 dB, but the overall performance may be way better.
Well, that's what I've been saying for years. The N1 DBL special antenna is a 140 or 45-foot tower with the apex at the top in the 4 wires, north, south, east, and west, fed, east and south with one half of the wire, and west and north fed with the other one. And the wires come down at a 45-degree angle. And I'd be willing to bet anything that antenna is going to be the one that gives the best all-around performance. It's not going to perform. It won't outperform a vertical at about 4,000 miles or 3,000 miles, and it probably won't outperform a dipole at 100 miles. But it'll if you average it, it's going to outperform everything.
So there you go.
Yeah, you have a point there.
There's the antenna recommendation from N1 DVL.
I play all kinds of stuff.
He knows everything about antennas, but he is interesting to listen to.
Horizontal, see who copies me on the vertical,
and we're hearing him good tonight. You can see
I do all this
again.
Stuff all
the bands are nice and quiet tonight.
It's kind of amazing.
Signals are good and strong. So
what things can happen. And
at least for local work, shortwave is doing well.
They blow your mind because it's just the opposite of what you think.
Of course, this time of night we're not going to hear a whole lot of DX. At least not.
I would like to try that, and I think it would really work well. And I look at all the guys, the really, really big guns. Let me say again, really, really, really big guns on 160. They're all running these huge friggin' vertical towers. And on Nova Scotia mostly, there's one up in Maine, and there's a few of them, and you can't hear the stations they copy, They're working all over the damn world, and I can't hear a damn one of them.
Yeah, but Jack, your little wimpy vertical over a tree compared to a really, truly honest professional tower done right, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. I realize in theory they should be the same, but they're not.
Oh no, of course not. I'm Mickey Mouse compared to those guys. And once in a while I do well. And
so this is actually,
and I make some really good contacts, but I can't compare to those guys that have all those.
See what these guys are going to come up with, or if they're just going to say the same thing back and forth to each other all night here.
No way. But
I guess we'll sit here and listen for a minute. I don't see anybody else in the chat room, so we'll just leave this here. If anybody else wants me to tune to another frequency or listen to something else, just drop a note in the chat there. Otherwise, we're going to sit here and see what these guys come up with tonight.
Nothing from Matt. I think he may have gone out tonight. I think he goes out on Saturday nights, date night.
Yeah, well, that's good.
It's Saturday?
Saturday. Wow. And I'm all out of wine.
Yeah, Saturday. Should be out doing something myself, but here we are, right?
Okay.
Hanging around on the radio. And
left.
Hello, John, BYP.
Yeah.
I got a book you have to read. Okay, you have to read this book. You have no choice. I'm gonna demand you to read it. It's the day after Roswell, and it's about the whole saucer deal. It's about everything.
Okay, so here we go. Now
and
we're
here's
gonna
why
hear
I want you
some
to read
UFO
it,
talk.
You're not a real believer.
I didn't know this guy was into that stuff.
Like
so
Steve K1F.
let's hear what he has to say about it.
I want you to read this book, and the incredible. This is the most incredible book I've ever read. It explains everything. It explains why the people are not told about flying saucers in detail. In detail that I couldn't even
So there you go.
begin
If you're into
to
that sort of thing, you're gonna have to get that book
you'd
and
have
read
to
it.
read it on your own. It's a game. The guy, this Philip J. Corso, who wrote the book, he was charged from this General Trudeau to get the alien technology in the hands of the right corporations in the United States.
All right, so I don't know if I believe that sort of thing.
Try to figure out how it worked. You know, build viable weaponry out of it. And
there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about that stuff. I mean, you could invent a conspiracy theory about just about anything, I think.
Build out of this stuff. They were allowed to patent to their company and take full credit for it, because in most cases they weren't told it was alien technology. In many cases they were, but I'd say about 50-50. Some knew it was alien technology, some didn't know it was alien technology. But the most interesting part of this book is it explains why the government is such a screwed up mess. In details that
I don't know if you could explain that in one book.
It amazed me. I'm just amazed over it, okay? It
I think the government being a screwed up mess would take volumes.
And why the people are not told about flying saucers. And it makes a great case for everything. When you read it, I think you'll be really impressed.
So, it's called The Day After Roswell?
The Day After Roswell by Colonel Philip J. Corso.
Okay.
I've seen this
so
guy
I wonder
on
when that
TV.
book was written.
I've seen him interviewed.
I'll have to take a look here.
Like I said, the thing is,
I got my laptop going,
you know
so
from listening to me talk, I know virtually every flying saucer story there ever was. I know the cover-ups. I've watched MUFON guys come out
this guy
and
knows
explain
everything.
their situations and everything.
You know, it looks like Barnes & Noble has it used for $1.99, so
you know, Paul,
you can order it from them. I wonder if I can get it.
He said that's a novel. That's not a. I said, Paul, if it's a novel,
library thing that
I said, if this book is truly a novel that the guy cooked up,
I want to listen to it now that this guy's talking about it.
And he should have never been a colonel. He should have wrote movie
But I have this
scripts,
audio thing through my local
library.
library.
Could make up the stuff that's in this
get
book.
audio
They just
books.
couldn't
So
do
if
it.
this is on there, I'll have to get it and listen to it while I'm driving back and forth to work.
I'll take a look for it.
Does it say when it was written here?
To Roswell, and had a lot of fun hanging out on the main drag.
Now, it looks like it was in the late 90s, maybe.
Museums.
This guy had something to do with Art Bell.
Others are pretty historic.
So anyway,
you spend a little
might
bit
be
of
worth a
time
read if you're into that sort of thing.
Newspapers and all the stuff on the wall. That makes a pretty compelling argument. Come away with a different opinion.
Well, trust me when I tell you, I've followed this stuff my whole life, and I just know every last bit of shred of information about this stuff. And this book is the most amazing thing I've ever read, and it opens my eyes to the point of incredible. You know who besides you and me, Donald Trump should read this book.
Oh no!
Somebody should,
Here we go.
say this is what you got to read, Mr. President, because this is why the government is in the mess we're in. And when you read it, you're not going to believe. You're just not going to believe it. I mean, and again, when you read the book, you're going to understand what I'm saying. It's so complicated that Philip J. Corso started as he was trained during World War II as a spook. You know what I mean? There was a specific name for him, but he was basically a
Apologize
World
for the
War II spook.
coughing here. I've been
had
sick over the last couple of weeks and just trying to get over it.
In you know, that type of stuff, and that's why he ended up doing what he did. But here's the stuff that, according to Corso, this is the exact stuff that was taken out of the flying saucer. Image intensifiers, which ultimately became night vision, fiber optics, super tenacity fibers, which was the suits that the aliens wore, lasers, molecular alignment metal alloys, integrated circuits, and micro miniaturization of logic boards. Now here's something that's incredibly fascinating. HARP, High Altitude Research Project, Project Horizon. This is a moon base. Project Horizon is a moon base that our country started in 1958. They wanted to have a moon base by 1965. Okay. Portable atomic generators, ion propulsion drive, irradiated food, third brain guidance systems. Now, John, are you aware that our most modern fighters use basically helmets that can, you know, basically they almost interface with your brain?
No, I had not.
Okay, well, yeah, see, you do see this. Yeah, the newest helmets basically interface with your brain in ways. And anyway, third brain guidance systems, EBEs, which are extraterrestrial biological entities. They wore these headbands inside the saucer, and the headband gives them, in other words, their brains basically run the saucer. Particle beams, Star Wars anti-missile energy weapons. They were in the aircraft. Electromagnetic propulsion systems and depleted uranium.
So let's see. Oh, somebody else is in the chat room there, I guess now. What am I using for an antenna? I am using an 80 and 40 meter fan dipole. It's out in my side yard in the trees. It's up about, I don't know, 15 feet or so. So nothing real fancy, just some wire. And what we're listening to now are some local guys on 160 meters. This guy's actually, I've heard this guy quite a bit over the years. I didn't realize he was a UFO guy, but he's going off on a bit of a rant here, so that's what I'm listening to now.
And then there's the reasoning. It's like I said, it's so when you're a spook, this whole stuff just all makes sense to those kind of people. And there's the reasoning behind why they did what they did, and it's just amazing. I can't put the book down. I just love it.
How did you come across this book?
That's even weirder, John. I opened my mailbox one day, and there's this big manila envelope stuffed in my mailbox with all the mail from the guy down the street. They gave me his mail. So I'm looking through this mail, and I opened one of them. It was from the Registry of Motor Vehicles, and I said, geez, why could, you know, none of my cars are due. So I opened the letter, and then I finally see it's to the next guy down the street. So my mailbox was filled with probably 15 or 20 pieces of mail that belonged to him in this big, huge, plain manila envelope with no return address on it, and a big square heavy thing in the middle of it. So I threw it in my car, and I kept on looking at it and saying, Christ, that looks like a bomb to me.
Truth Faction is using a Tram 1410 or 1411 on a SDR smart dongle. Okay, I'm not familiar with either of those, really. Is the Tram antenna, is that a wire antenna or some sort of a vertical? Or something like that? And then the NE SDR smart dongle, is that one of those little 282 dongles or something like that. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to look that one up.
The seam of the big square
Not that I'm any kind of authority on SDR dongles or anything like that.
And he looks in, and finally he says, "It looks like a book," and he finally opens it up, and
I
pull out the day after Roswell. I have no idea who sent it to me.
Hey, John? Yeah.
So how do you like the performance of that? Does it seem to work okay for you?
I went to Roswell myself. I wonder what year you were there.
Oh, it's a disco antenna. Okay.
I know we were there.
So can you receive shortwave on yours then?
A few years later.
Like I said, I'm not familiar with that particular one.
We went twice. Used to go to.
I pulled it up over here on the laptop, but
camping in Texas, and on our way back,
I can't quite read all the specs here.
El Paso, and then up, go north through New Mexico, to Roswell.
Looks like they got a bunch of stuff there, don't they?
Yeah, very good. I did pretty much the same thing, and I think just about the same time too. 2002, 2003, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly. And I had a good time there. I won't say I didn't. I had a really good time, and I went to all the museums and stuff. And
it's sort of like those typical dongles. They don't go really down
I
low.
won't go into it, but I really had a good time.
That's how I started out with SDRs. I got one of those cheap ones. And I found it didn't work really below 30 megahertz. Mine didn't. And that's how I ended up with the RSP1. That's how I started off anyway.
Yeah, you're
and that worked really well. But now I'm up to the RSPduo. This is a good unit.
We were both on motorcycles, and we went to
and yeah, that makes sense why you would have went with the disco, because you're not getting a whole lot
filled with mud and everything else.
So the disco is going to work for you.
We washed them off, and we were both out of gas, and there was a gas station across the street from the car wash. So I went to the
I was using, when I had my little SDR dongle, I was using it with a 2-meter vertical antenna. That was working well. I was receiving all kinds of stuff on it. You know, up high in the VHF band. I was getting ADSB airplanes and all that sort of thing.
They were all Mexicans.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it for the little dongles for $15. Although the one you have is probably a little bit more expensive, but it probably works a little better too.
Anyway, I'll just touch on a few interesting facts from the book. From the day that we went into space, in the earliest, suborbital or the orbital, the earliest orbital flights, the aliens were harassing the living crap out of our spacemen on just about every flight they ever went on to. Constantly harassing them, constantly, all the time. So that was something very interesting.
$25. Yeah, well, that's not bad at all.
I know that the space people
that's not bad at all. The thing is you get the ones on Amazon or eBay for $10 or whatever they are now, $15. And you don't know if they're going to work. A friend of mine ordered 3 of them, and only one of them worked. So you're kind of taking chances. If you buy one that's a little bit better off, you're paying a little bit more, but at least you're,
where he says they took
probably getting something with a bit of a warranty, or at least a company standing behind it so you can send it back to them
4,000 pictures of an
if you have
alien
any
spacecraft
problems.
that was in orbit with them as close as 30 feet or 30 meters away. And they exhausted all their film and movie film and everything, and not one picture has ever showed up anywhere. And it's all explained in the book why this happens. It's the most fascinating part of the book is why the government is such a mess, number one, and why they don't tell us
I don't know
what's
if anybody
going
can
on.
explain why the government is such a mess in one book.
Well, you'd figure that
I think
if there was
that would take a lot more than one book.
It's going to be leakage.
I don't think it's aliens doing it. I think we're doing it to ourselves.
Discover some things in our life.
I guess that's a topic for another day or another channel, maybe.
I watch a lot of the programs. I follow a little bit.
I'm not sure where this other guy is, but he's not coming in as strong as the first guy. But the first guy here, the one that's doing most of the talking, he's probably only 10 or 15 miles away from me, so we're going to hear him quite well.
Even though there's
Let's see, it is improved processors and aluminum housing. They don't pick up much around here.
We bought ourselves an
but it picks up my bow fan for about 3 miles in the hills and hollers of the Ozarks. Oh, okay, so you're out that way. I'm over here in Connecticut, away from the cities. I'm up in the quiet corner of Connecticut, so I usually do pretty well up here. I don't get a lot of interference from the cities or anything like that.
It all makes sense when you see it. And believe
but
it or not,
we're still close enough to civilization to have stuff to listen to, I guess.
In detail, way more, you know, you got to have a very good analytical mind to, and I don't. I'm not saying I do. I don't have that kind of an analytical mind to explain what the gamesmanship that goes on in the government and the military, and between the military and the government, and between our CIA and the KGB. It's all just one giant game. And it's just amazing.
Yeah, he's not wrong about that.
You're going to read about, especially about the CIA and the KGB. According to this Corso, they're just about one organization. They literally interact with each other, and it's like a club between the spooks. And the spooks in Russia and the spooks in the United States do not
so you can
tell
pull a lot of PD,
the
but they
government
are all
what's
digital
going
chunking.
on.
Yeah, that's the
They
problem
sort of
we have
control
around
the
here in
world
Connecticut too.
in their own
The state
way
police
by
and everything is
themselves.
gone all digital,
And it
but
says many,
we've got a lot of hills here in this part of the state. Not that Connecticut's a big state, but we've got hills around here. So the local police are still kind of using analog VHF stuff just because it works better. They don't have the infrastructure that the state police have, so they can't, you know, put repeaters on every hilltop. So they still use the analog stuff, so I can tune into them on the scanner. Some of the EMS stuff I can still get. Railroad dispatch, of course, aircraft and everything up there.
You know, that's
pretty active. I got a scanner back in the spring. I hadn't had one in a long time. And I picked one up and put it out in the garage, and I'm amazed at how much stuff I hear on it.
There's times in
so
which,
the signals are out there, and it's not a digital scanner.
They win.
It's just a regular analog scanner.
And reverses.
Actually, I should do a video on that scanner one of these days.
And you can't help but come back with this.
Maybe once it gets real cold out and I'm not doing anything in the garage anymore, I'll bring it down here in the radio and do a thorough video on the thing.
Keep an eye out for the book, WB2BYP.
You can download it right on...
yeah, that's the problem with all the digital stuff. It's harder for us to listen to it as
Randy
hobbyists.
says you can download it for free.
Really? I was looking at Amazon. They have it in paperback.
One of the things that I find somewhat interesting to listen to, we've got a few businesses that are still using VHF analog around here.
I'm still here.
We've got a newspaper company that uses it for dispatching their delivery people, and it's kind of funny to listen to those guys because they're not professional radio people. They're just on there talking about stuff and yelling at each other and things like that. And we've got another ride-share program. I think it's more for like elderly people or medical needs. It's not quite an ambulance. It's just people who need rides or something. Some of that can get kind of funny too. Bus drivers talking to each other.
It's just an incredible.
So you're saying that all fire is still analog, most are volunteers, so not a lot of high-dollar radios. You know, a friend of mine just joined the volunteer fire department here a couple of months ago, and he showed me some of the stuff he's got. And like you said, the radios are analog, but he's got this neat little app on his phone now.
Good.
And you know, that when a call comes through, it goes to the app and it rings his phone and lets him know, and then it can, he can respond or mark that he's responding, and he can see who else is responding, and gives him a map to where the incident is and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot of phone stuff out there. You just can't beat the old analog radios, in a pinch, because you can't rely on that cell phone infrastructure. It's not always going to be there. But for the most part, those old analog radios are going to work.
So yeah, I'll be here.
And like you said, It's a lot less expensive to
no sweat.
to run and maintain those.
I don't know how heavy. The triangle, I mean, one hand, you know, not real heavy. Yeah, okay.
You notice how big the signals are tonight?
See, most firefighters have pagers, and
I've
that's
been noticing
all.
everybody's up.
Yeah, like I said, around here they've got the smartphone app now.
Are you still in
I
here?
think my buddy has a pager too. I'm not sure. And I think they gave him a couple of radios to use and whatnot.
Go ahead.
But that's just a small town volunteer department here.
Well, I don't think it's too bad. Let's see what the
So
other
let's see,
guys
did
say.
these guys get off the UFO subject here finally? I guess maybe they did.
I think you got a new rig.
Oh, okay.
So, well, speaking of VHF, I'm wondering if we'll pick anything up here. These guys
do I
seem
have
to
to
be
put my
done.
headphones on?
So I'm going to go up to the turn that down for a minute. And I'll set this so we can see the spectrum. We'll start off on 2 meters. You're probably not going to hear a lot. There's probably not a lot of activity going on right now. Wouldn't think anyway. But we can tune around. We can go up. We got something there. Oh, that's digital stuff. I can't think of the frequencies off the top of my head here that we use around here that are in the VHF high band, but I don't expect there to be a lot of activity this time of night anyway. Although it is Saturday night, near Halloween, so there could be people out there messing around. Yeah, I'd have to look up some frequencies. 162 weather. Yeah, I can tune there if you want to hear what it sounds like around here. Now, keep in mind, I'm also running a 40 and 80 meter dipole. This is not an antenna cut for these frequencies, but you know, it's going to receive something, of course. So there's my closest weather station. And that one's not far away at all. It's only a few miles away. So it's a nice strong signal.
From Sunday morning to late Sunday night, or until the warning is canceled. At 9:30 p.m. Saturday, the stage was 14.3 feet. Flood stage is 15.0 feet.
I haven't tuned into this in a while. It sounds like they changed the voice a bit.
And continue to rise to
Sounds
near
a little better.
15.1 feet by tomorrow early afternoon. The river will fall below flood stage by tomorrow late evening. Connecticut River near Thompsonville. The flood warning continues for the Connecticut
So we
River
got a
at
couple other stations there.
highs in the lower 60s.
I can't remember
Chance of
which
rain,
one of these is
30%.
which.
Wednesday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then
But one of
becoming
these is
mostly
in
clear.
southern Connecticut,
Lows in the lower 40s.
and the other one might be up
Thursday,
towards
sunny. Highs
Boston.
in the lower 50s. Thursday night, partly cloudy in the
I'm
evening,
about
then
halfway
becoming
between
mostly cloudy.
New York
Lows
City
in
and
the upper
Boston here,
30s.
maybe a little bit closer to
Friday,
Boston.
partly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy. A
So that one's
50%
coming in.
chance of
I have a
showers.
feeling that's the southern
Highs in the
Connecticut one.
mid-50s. Friday night, mostly cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening.
Or maybe
Lows
it's
around
mid
40.
Connecticut. I think it might be in
Chance
Meriden,
of rain,
Connecticut,
40%.
which is
Saturday,
sort of southern.
mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 50s.
Let's see what this other one sounds like.
The river will continue to fall to below flood stage by after midnight tonight.
No, this one might be the southern Connecticut one because they're still talking about the river.
Here are the 11 p.m. observations for the Worcester area.
Oh no, this is the
In
Massachusetts one,
it was
Worcester.
fair. The temperature was
Okay.
42 degrees.
So they
the
must have
dew point
flooding
29,
up there
and the
too.
relative humidity
We had a little bit of
59%.
rain over
The wind was
last
west at
night,
18 miles an
and some of the
hour,
rivers are a
gusting
little
to
full.
31 miles an hour.
No big deal,
The
but
pressure was
they're talking about it
30.13
here.
inches and rising. Elsewhere
So
around
let's
the
zoom
region,
in a bit. I'm
western
curious now.
Massachusetts, in Pittsfield, cloudy, temperature 42.
So that's the western,
wind
or
west at
well,
15,
central
gusting
Massachusetts
to 30.
station.
At Orange, fair, Temperature 45, wind west of rain showers in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 40s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour.
This one's obviously coming in a little scratchy, but we're hearing it.
And for the southern Berkshires overnight, partly cloudy.
Oh, this one must be
much cooler with lows in the mid-30s.
Far western Massachusetts. Or maybe New York.
Per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny. Highs in the upper 40s. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour.
I wonder if that one's up by Albany.
Cold with lows in the lower 30s. East winds around 5 miles per hour. Monday, partly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy.
Well, anyway,
a chance of rain.
Hearing some good strong activity there from the weather stations.
And 10:49 a.m. Sunday.
All right,
here
so
are the
let's
11
see.
p.m. observations.
It's getting a little bit on the late
Airport,
side here,
it was
even though
fair.
we are setting our clocks back
The temperature was
tonight.
46 degrees,
But,
dew point 28,
I'm
and the
probably
relative
bail out of
humidity
here now.
49%.
This really was supposed to be
The
just a
wind was
short
west at
test,
12
but I
miles an
kind
hour.
of let it go
The
a
pressure
little
was
bit.
30.22 inches
See,
and
now that I
rising.
see it is pretty quiet.
At
at this hour.
Sikorsky Memorial
Explains why I
Airport
don't
in Bridgeport,
hear a lot
it
on
was
the
fair.
ham bands.
The temperature was 49
Yeah, I don't always hear a lot on the ham bands this time of night. I don't do a lot of live streams, but when I do, it's usually this late. And there just isn't a whole lot to listen to this late at night, but it's usually when I'm up and have the free time. But sometimes you'll hear rag chew and whatnot, but you're not going to hear a lot on 2 meters. Although, well, I've got my 2 meter radio on scan behind me. And sometimes you'll get some guys on there that talk late night, but they're not on tonight. But lower down, you'll have guys on 40 and 80, kind of rag chewing, you know, this late at night. Some of them, you know, they've been drinking for a while, and so they're up. But yeah, VHF tends to get pretty quiet. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Like I said, it was more of a test just to see if my live streaming was still working and whatnot, and just kind of hanging out here, not doing a whole lot. So I think I'll bail out of here, and maybe we'll try another live stream in the near future if I can find some time. As I said in the beginning, for those of you that are here that weren't there before, just busy with work and things a lot, just like everyone else, but I don't find a lot of time to do live stream stuff. So but as winter comes on, maybe I'll do a little bit more with the live stream stuff and see what we can do with it. And like I said, have a little bit more focus. Maybe we'll pick a band to tune around on, or we'll pick an activity to do with the software or something like that to you know, get a little more focused. But I think I'm going to bail here. Let's see, there's one more comment. Trying to get my fellowship congregation to put together a mesh network. Yeah, you know, I haven't done a whole lot with that. I've seen some demos on doing that with the radio stuff. You know, doing a mesh network over ham radio stuff, but I haven't done much of that myself. I used to be a computer guy, but I kind of went the other way. I used to do it for work 10 to 15 years ago, and I just burned myself out on it. So now I only do stuff when I have to. But yeah, setting up a mesh network would definitely be an interesting thing to do, especially if you have a use for it. But okay, I'm going to close this down here. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, or at least helped you pass the time. Anyway, so we'll catch everyone later.
Until Tuesday evening.